Hello students, how are you? Today we shall study about demand curve. So what is a demand curve? When schedule is graphically represented, we get a demand curve. We have learned to prepare graph in class 10 where we used to prepare a table and then posting that table on a graph to get a line, a linear graph or some other graph. Here again like this, that we were preparing a table that is called demand schedule, and then when we will be posting it like this was our demand schedule for individual 25, 1000, 50, 750. When we posted it on a graph paper, then we got an individual demand graph or curve. This is DG, that is curve, and these 4 points showing the different points of purchase at different prices and quantity. So types of demand curve are two, that is individual demand curve and market demand curve. Because we studied market demand in two terms, that is first is individual demand and second is market demand. So this is individual curve, and if we can see that it is showing negative slope, and we have learned that if any slope with the progress on the x side, it comes down on the y axis. From here it is coming to here, so this type of slope is called negative slope, and it means that as price is going high, demand is decreasing, or when on the other hand, if price is coming down, then demand is increasing. This is very practical thing, we all know, and we have seen about many goods. If prices are going high, demand gets down. Let us take an example of petrol. When petrol was hovering around 100, people started using other means. For example, they started pulling the vehicle or using public transport, and that brought down the demand. Second, market demand curve depicts aggregate demand of all the customers in the market at different prices, covering homogeneous commodity, which means commodity is homogeneous, and we know what does it mean homogeneous. That means all units of that particular commodity are same in features and same in the price. What does it mean by feature? Let us take again example of mango, because this is season of mangoes. Every mango on that shopkeeper which was selling Alfonso mango, every mango is, let us assume that every mango is of 500 grams. Every mango has same color, every mango has same smell, same nice smell, and every mango has perfectly same taste. Then that assortment, then that project will be called homogeneous. So aggregate demand means summation of the demand of all the consumers divided by number of consumers. For example, here market demand schedule, if we see here is total demand is 2100 gram, and if I divide, because here were 2 consumers only, if I divide it by 2, then I will get 1050 gram. That 1050 gram is aggregate demand for that particular commodity. So it can be like 3 if all of these are depicting market demand curve. Now let us look into determinants of demand. First determinant is price of commodity itself. Second is income of the consumer. Third, prices of related commodities, substitute or complementary or complex entry. Fourth, consumer preference case, etc. And consumer expectations about future prices. All of these 5 determinants can be summed up in this one single equation. Please underline this and memorize this. Here Dn is the demand for all the commodities. F is function, which means demand and is function of these factors. And what are these factors? First is price of the where price of goods itself is Pn. Price of related commodities could be substitute or complementary. So substitute and complementary prices of them are P1, P2, because there could be n number of substitution and there could be n number of complementary goods, both. This is why we are saying the demand of complementary goods and also. Now next is Y. That Y is income of the consumer. How much is the income? And T is taste of preferences and E is expectations related to the future demand. Now let us understand all of these in detail. First is Pn. How does this decide about the demand? We have seen that if price of any commodity increases, demand for that commodity comes down, because mentality works at, oh, that is too costly and that thing does not worth that price, so demand comes down easily on their own. For example, if we take example of face mask which we are using in these corona times, when prices of these corona masks went high, people started using handkerchiefs, dupatta, straw, scarves to avoid, because they didn't want to pay that high price. So price of goods itself, in demand of income, that came down. Second, price of related commodities. Now let us take another example. Prices of hand sanitizers was high. Soap was a good substitute to that. That's why demand of soap increased, because prices of hand sanitizer was so high, people were not ready to buy it at that price. So instead of that, they started using soap to wash their hands. And that is the example of substitute. What if it is complementary? Then complementary good to the hand sanitizer and mask are complementary projects. What happens if price of one goes high, price of another goes high? Or let us take another more appropriate example. Let us say that prices of petrol and no, that will not be a good example. Let us say prices of mobile data and call time we are buying, they are complementary to each other. So if price of one goes high, price of another will go high, or they will be complementing each other. Income of consumer, this we have studied many a times, that if income of a consumer is high, he will be willing to buy his desired thing at higher prices also, but if his income is not high, then he will not be ready to buy those things at those price levels. So this is income of consumer. Preferences of consumer. Now, preference of consumer works a lot on the demand. There is a classical example of Kellogg's. You all have heard about Kellogg's. You must have seen ads of Kellogg's. Kellogg's in America used to manufacture and sell cornflakes or another kinds of flakes only. They were not in any other business. But when they came to India, they found, and I'm talking about that period about 10 or 15 years ago. So 10 or 15 years ago, when they decided to enter in the Indian market and came here, they spent a lot of money in advertising, in establishing their offices, in establishing their channels, etc. And then what did they found? They found that Indians do not like to eat cornflakes or oats or like things like that in their breakfast. Mostly these days, mostly those who consider them high class or modern, they used to, but still many of us, like me only, we like to have paratha or bread or at least nothing than salad or sabji roti in the breakfast. We do not eat cornflakes. So what happened? They started, so this preference hampered the demand of cornflakes and they stood heavy losses. Although there is another story that they started making biscuits because Indians are fond of biscuits. Our Parle-G is the world's largest, biggest producer of the biscuits. So that is another story. Preference of the consumer works. For example, let us take another example of Maruti cars. 8 out of 10 people, or let us say 6 or 7 people, like to buy Maruti cars. So demand for Maruti cars is higher and demand for other cars is less. Consumers' expectations about future prices. Now this works in both ways. If consumer is expecting that prices may go high in future, then he will prepone his purchase. That means he will try to buy things as soon as possible. But if he is thinking that price of that given project will be less in future, then he will try to postpone its purchase. For example, let us say I went to buy a house, and we all know prices of house always increase. So, and there is a particular house which I am very liking, I am very much interested in buying, and I know that price of that house will go up, so I will try to buy it as soon as possible. On the other hand, there is some property which, let us say I like a property but owners are still living in them, but I am sure that they are bound to leave the city forever, and when they will be leaving the city, they will be in hurry to arrange as much as money as they can by selling each and everything. Then I think that then they will be in hurry and they can sell their house cheaper. Now, relationship between price of commodity and quantity demanded of that commodity. Quantity demanded of first, relationship between price and quantity demanded of that particular commodity. There is an inverse relationship between price of good and the demand. Other factors remaining constant, which means if we are taking other factors Actually, when we decide to study something, we have to consider all the other factors constant, so we could study direct relationship between two factors in which we are interested. For example, in this particular case, we are interested in price and demand only, so there will be an inverse relationship. Inverse relationship means if price will go high, the demand quantity will go down, and if prices will come down, quantity demanded will go high. Now this word is ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus means that relationship between price of a related commodity and quantity demanded for that commodity. It is of two types. This is called ceteris paribus relationship between price of related commodities, which means ceteris paribus means all the other things remaining same. In short, it means all the other things remaining same. That means my preferences, their features, and other things all are same. So this can be of two types. First is complementary goods. For example, sugar and tea are complementary goods. If demand for this demand curve is negative, if prices of sugar will go high, people will start consuming less tea because they do not want to buy sugar at 50 or 100 rupees per kg, and mostly we use sugar in tea only. So demand curve will be negative. Substitute projects, if for example coffee and tea, I prefer drinking coffee and prices of it went higher, so I started drinking tea. In that condition, demand for tea also went high, so in that case curve will be positive. Let us take another example of this substitute good. Let us say I like Samsung mobiles very much, but prices of Samsung mobiles went high, or the quality of Samsung mobiles went very, very bad. Then what I did, I simply looked some another substitute, let us say Nokia phone or Sony Ericsson phone, and this happened to all the Samsung fans. Actually, I am not the only person who loves Samsung. There are many. So all the Samsung fans thought that okay, now Samsung are charging too much. They are charging a premium because they are a very good brand. So they are charging a premium. So okay, we do not want to buy them, and they started turning to other phones, and they do not want to buy Chinese also because there is a very big factor for which Samsung fans buy Samsung phone. So they turn to other non-Chinese brands such as Sony Ericsson or Nokia to buy them. So what will happen? Demand for Nokia and Sony Ericsson will go up. So this is the case which we just talked about of substitute goods. In substitute goods, demand of one quantity, if demand of one commodity increases, what is the relation between substitute? If price of one good increases, the demand for the other goods increases. On the other hand, in the case of complementary goods, if two things are complementary, then if price of, let us say there are two complementary things, A and B. Now if the price of A is increasing than price of B, then the demand of B will also decline, because while price of A is increasing, then demand of A is going down, and because demand of A is going down, so demand of B will go down also. This is how it works in the case of complementary things, complementary commodities. In the next class, we shall study more about demand. Till then, enjoy. Have a nice day. God bless you. Thank you.